Breaking news that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and several other Democrats have just toured Kyiv with President Zelenskyy, the first official congressional delegation to Ukraine since the Russian invasion. Senior foreign correspondent Pannell starts us off. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, George, good morning from Kyiv. This is Ukraine's second largest city. The Russian border is only about 15 miles away from here, and Russian troops are even closer because, of course, they've occupied territory around Kyiv and they've been shelling the city pretty much indiscriminately since day one. Ukraine needs all the help it can get in this war, and this morning America answered that call once again with a bold and really quite brave show of support from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who, as you say, came to Kyiv. This morning, in an unannounced visit, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi led a congressional delegation to meet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy in Kyiv. In a show of solidarity, Pelosi, the highest-ranking American official to visit Ukraine since the start of the war, affirmed U.S. support for Ukraine.
You're on a frontier of freedom, and that your fight is a fight for everyone. And so our commitment is to be there for you until the fight is done.
Russia's all-out assault on eastern Ukraine intensified this week, but there are growing signs its campaign may not be going to plans. This was also the week the war returned to the capital, Kyiv. Russian missiles striking the heart of the city. There haven't been scenes like this in Kyiv for weeks. Fires raging as rescuers rush in to help the wounded. Kyiv had been relatively quiet, calm enough for UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to visit the outskirts of the city to see the atrocities of war firsthand.
There is no way a war can be acceptable in the 21st century. Look at that.
But just hours after Guterres walked the streets, Russia fired multiple rockets into civilian areas. In the southern port city of Mariupol, civilians hiding out in the Azovstal steel plant are still under siege. This video from the far-right Azov battalion appearing to show the chaos after Russians attacked a hospital inside the plant. Citizens trapped amid intensive fighting. We saw demining teams collecting unexploded ordnance in liberated villages near Kyiv. More than 80,000 explosive devices have been found across Ukraine since the war began. You can see here there are grenades, there are shells, these are anti-tank mines. These guys are working around the clock now to try and find them, collect them and detonate them and allow the people to come back into their homes. The trucks take the munitions deep into the woods, and then this.
2, 1, вибух.
The West's military support for Ukraine has been a leveller. The Pentagon shipping more than half the howitzer long-range artillery guns pledged to Ukraine. President Biden then asking Congress for an additional $33 billion over the next 5 months.
The cost of this fight is not cheap, but caving to aggression is going to be more costly if we allow it to happen.
While Putin ramped up his rhetoric, warning of lightning-fast strikes, potentially against arms shipments, and making a thinly veiled reference to Russia's arsenal of nuclear weapons. Saying, we have all the tools for this, things no one else can boast of having. This week, the Kremlin abruptly cut off natural gas supplies to Poland and Bulgaria, a move European leaders and President Biden call blackmail. Tensions now so high between the Cold War adversaries that it made a secret prisoner swap between the US and Russia all the more extraordinary. Former US Marine Trevor Reed held captive in Russia for nearly 3 years, walking to his freedom on a tarmac in Turkey. But the swap doesn't seem to be the start of a thaw in relations. Russia showing no signs of easing their aggression, but a US defense official saying their eastern assault is days behind schedule. But Ukraine may be going on the offensive. A series of mysterious explosions inside Russia in 3 cities near the border. There was no claim of responsibility, but an advisor to President Zelenskyy saying simply, karma is a cruel thing. Well, George, I think this war has clearly entered a different phase now. This looks set to be a long, drawn-out battle. Progress for Russia here in the east is slow. It's described by the Pentagon as plodding, and there seems to be no realistic hope of any kind of breakthrough in peace talks, perhaps because, above all, both sides sincerely believe that they can win this war, and neither side is ready to make any kind of concessions. George?
Pannell, thanks. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.